just a summary of the squad, and after that we'll take questions. We can go live and embargoed if you wish. You want to go that route, or we're happy for you to answer questions and you guys decide amongst yourselves. I'll take your judgment on it, because I know you guys have got a very busy day and that stuff. So, so Jim, if you want to go first.
Yeah, just give you a brief update on the squad. Again, another young squad. New additions would be Leon Ayinde, who's an attacking player. He's played wide left at Ipswich Town. We've done a lot of good work with him over the last couple of years. I know he's been involved with the senior team a few times. He's been on the bench a few times. I went over to see him numerous times. I know he was at Rochdale last year, and I think he'll bring energy, he'll bring serious pace to our attacking line, and I'm looking forward to meeting him. And James McManus comes in. I've known James a long time. I think he's a very accomplished midfielder. I think he's a very good passer of the ball. He's comfortable in possession, and I felt myself he always needed to get out and play senior football, and that's exactly what he's done. He made a big call for himself to go on loan at Sligo Rovers, and he's gone there and he's played exceptionally well, and he's been a huge input into their performances and where they are in the league at present, where they've climbed out of the relegation zones. But again, another player I'm looking forward to working with, and it's going to be a tough game against Slovakia. We as a group, I spoke to a lot of the players, we as a group, we're looking forward to the game. It's certainly going to be the stiffest challenge that we've had since this group got together. Slovakia have got a wealth of experience, a lot of players playing first team football. Three of our players played in the European Under-21 Championships just gone in Slovakia. Their captain, Sir, who's a midfielder, plays with Toulouse week in, week out. So it's going to be a great challenge for the players, and something that we look forward to. But again, Turner's Cross has been kind to us in many ways in terms of performance and results, and the energy that Turner's Cross brings to the players, for the players, will certainly act as a 12th man for us. So just in relation to questions that I know come up with Jack Morehouse, we're sort of still going through the process of the paperwork, and we're going to give it as long as we possibly can in this window to see if we can get him over the line. It's far closer than the situation that we have with Owen Helding. Owen, I was led to believe initially, mid-September, he was going to get his citizenship. That hasn't happened. It's nobody's fault. It's just a process. It's an ongoing process, and we're quite comfortable and quite calm with the process. It's something that we've always had a plan B. Okay, yes, if Jack has got his passport, let's say, and Owen's got his passport, they're players that you'd have in your squad. But for me, it's if Jack doesn't make it, it's an opportunity for somebody else. Obviously, Owen's not going to make this window. It's an opportunity for somebody else, and we're just happy with the group that we've selected.
Alright guys, I'll start off with the live section if that's alright. Connor, do you want to take it first?
I'll go first. Well, Jim, how are you?
Connor, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. What's it like to be back again? How would you reflect maybe on the last camp coming into this now? You had two very good wins, which was the most important thing, but how would you reflect it performance-wise? How do you feel like this very young group of lads has grown into the green jersey?
Yeah, look, it's, as I said before, it's one of the, if not the youngest squad I've ever had the privilege of looking after, and we knew that with a young group of players you're going to have moments of inconsistency, decision making, and that just goes with the territory of the age group. If you would have said to me before the camp, okay, you'll come out with 6 points. You know, of course, we'd be delighted with that. But when you lift under the bonnet of the 2 games, you probably say, okay, we were very good in moments, but also a lot of learning in both games, Moldova and Andorra, where look, they're 2 decent teams. You know, Moldova are a very good team. Andorra came, they brought down 3 senior players who just previously played against England, which I know sort of it didn't really bother me, you know, because I just said, right, great, they've just stepped up the challenge for our players, and we'll see how we can overcome their first team players who've come into their starting 11. And look, it was there was good moments in the game, but again, a lot of learning for the players, and something that this group of players will certainly take on board. But just to answer your question, yeah, delighted with 3 points, as anybody would be, but we'll aim to, whether it's with the ball or without the ball, we'll be looking to get better at every win.
Yeah, and how looking forward are you to getting back to Turner's Cross? It's been a very happy place for the 21s over the last campaign, a lot of good memories. Is it something special when you go down to Cork and play in front of a sold out crowd?
Yeah, Cork is fantastic. It really is. Look, like a lot of places, that we played in, or at 21s level. Well, Cork for me, it's been great. They've witnessed some exciting games over the years. They've witnessed some last minute injury goals, good and bad. But in terms of feeling like there's an event going on, when we arrive in the coach to Turner's Cross before the game, you get this sort of feel that there's something at stake here, because the fans get right behind the players. As the coach is driving out to Turner's Cross, you just see the tricolours littered on the streets, and for me, I think that gets the juices flowing as a staff. But certainly the players, they buy into it, and they love playing down at Turner's Cross.
Yeah, and can I just ask you on Sam Curtis? He was such an important player for you last campaign. He scored probably the best away win you've had so far at Turkey last year, and it's been probably a tough 18 months at club level since going to Sheffield United, and then he's missed out in their last 2 squads and not been selected. But what does he need to do to get back in picture, or would you have any advice for him what he needs to get back to the level what he was at?
I don't want to get into it personally, there's nothing personal. He just needs to just keep playing well at Sheffield United, and look, it's not been easy for him of late. He's playing 21s football at Sheffield United. It's our situation with the squad at the minute. We've got a few players that can play a right back. You've got James O'Banquet can play there, Jacob Devaney can play there, Sean Gretton at a push can play there. So that's a disadvantage for him, that there's certain players that can play multiple positions. But Sam, he just needs to get his head down. He's got the abilities. He's going through a period of adversity, and through that there's a lot of learning, a lot of self-reflection, and he needs to have a conversation with the coaches at Sheffield United to help him. Look, I've got my reasons. I don't want to put them on the table for anybody. It'd be just between me and Sam. But I like Sam. Sam, he's unfortunately missed out, but I could say that by a lot of players who have been selected. It's tough selecting the squad, and always people will look at those who weren't selected. How come he's not in? And taking the focus off the players who have been selected, who have been playing well, and who each and every one of them deserve their call up.
Right, thanks, Jim.
No problem.
Anyone else for the live section? I'll move straight on to the embargo section. Anyone have anything for that?
Just on Rocco Barnes, obviously had a very big impact for Watford last night. Is he someone who's maybe, I know he's been captain before, but pushing on the door of the senior team?
I think Rocco's got to play week in, week out for Watford. I think he's got amazing ability. He really has. and I think he'll get there. I think he's a very high ceiling. He was excellent for us in the last window, and I don't mean excellent, on the pitch. I think being around the place in team meetings, in training sessions, he worked exceptionally hard, and he was a real inspiration for a lot of the younger players. Rocco coming out, I think he's matured greatly over the last number of months. I think he's a key player for us. I'm delighted for him last night to score. He came on. Hopefully he starts this weekend, scores again. But he's, he needs a good run in the team, and I think he's, I think he has a very, very high ceiling. I just love the way he plays the game. I think he's a real threat. He's got pace. He can score goals, as he showed. He's got an eye for a key pass, and they're the type of players we want in and around our Irish teams.
Trent Doherty is another one who's kind of caught people's eyes. How important is he going to be for you in this campaign?
Yeah, Trent. Look, I've always liked Trent. He's come in. Would have liked them, as I said before, to come in the June camp so we can sort of get him in nice and early and meet him and what have you. But we only got him in the last camp. But I'm not complaining. He came in and he was excellent. He was excellent in training. Turned a lot of heads in training when we said, right, he's, this player here can make a real difference for us, and he did when he came on, and that's probably what we needed. Thought we were a little bit sterile at times against Andorra, and we needed somebody to go and ask the Andorra defence some questions with pace and trickery, and that's what he did. I think he's another excellent player with a high ceiling who I've seen over the last couple of weeks playing games against Ipswich, against Manchester United a couple of weeks ago, and he's in good form coming into the camp, which is pleasing.
Jim, how are you?
John,
how are you doing?
how are you?
Good. Just on O'Neill thing, like it's a citizenship delay, is it? Just explain if you can. Probably a bit of a new one.
Yeah, he qualifies through naturalisation,
Yeah.
and you got to live in the country for X amount of years, and so it's a longer process. And I think Adam, you're going through the same.
I'll fully brief you.
So it's not easy.
Yeah.
It takes a while, and it's nobody's fault. It's just a process, So I've probably went a little bit lone wolf, and I tried to speed up the process, but you're not going to speed it up. It is what it is, and we accept it. And I got probably a little bit excited, before the last window, thinking that he was going to have it mid-September. He was going to have that ceremony, or what is it called? Ceremony. Yeah, mid-September, but it hasn't happened. But it is what it is. You just have to crack on with it.
And that is like, is there anything outstanding that he needs? Like, is this just a time thing? This is gonna happen, and it's no.
Yeah. You could have all your paperwork and all done. It just takes time.
He has all that done.
Yeah, look, he was, as far as I'm aware, he was given a checklist, and it's all done. And I think it's a little bit different with the naturalisation. You have to, prove, your schooling, that you went to school, you played in an academy over here, dental records, medical records. I don't know, but I know that it's all done above board. We're just, it's a waiting game, and it is what it is.
And Jack's one there, is that just a passport? Is that FIFA?
Yeah, look, he's we're on the final home straight with it, so hopefully we can get that done, and he can join us in this camp. But it's just a wait and see game. I think we had something similar to Henry Cashin, where it was quite late in the day where we got that rubber stamped. So I'm sort of assuming, I know you should never assume that this is going to happen, and we can have him on board for this window. But again, if it doesn't, we still have options available.
Just finally for me, the next window, I know you're playing England in Birmingham. Happy with that? Would you might be the Premier League?
It's a million miles away from me at this point in time.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Birmingham, delighted.
Yeah.
Delighted. Look, I think there's a great Irish community there, but I think there's a great Irish community everywhere in the UK. We could have played at Luton, Manchester, but no, Birmingham, it'd be great. It'd be great, and but look, it will. If we can get 3 points in this window, it'll add a little bit more spice to the game. But my concentration now is on Slovakia, as I said, who are a big test. So, and making sure everybody's right, making sure our training sessions are right, team needs are right, for the short window that is 5 or 6 days.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else there?